You never get a second chance to make a first impression, so be sure to smile, be cordial, and presentable when meeting someone important like, I don't know, maybe the person you're gonna spend the rest of your life with? Kyoka Kuro, however, is of another mind. He is tired of women who are only after him for his power, position, and money, and so his greeting to this new potential bride is cold, and his words are harsh.
I really want to be here, so I was made to be here, so obviously I'm just like wanting to get this over with and get on with my life. This is a big inconvenience for me.
Though I'm not gifted, I will do my best to be useful. That is Miyo's resolve. Kyoka Kuro's cold welcome makes it absolutely clear. What he says goes, and should she displease him, she can expect to be immediately kicked out. Miyo obediently accepts his words with nary a word of protest, since that's the kind of treatment she's come to expect from others. But this meekness surprises her husband-to-be. Yurie, the good woman, does her best and tries to put in a word for her master, but she really has nothing to worry about. Miyo has nowhere else to go, and is just grateful that she wasn't thrown out already, especially since she doesn't have the spirit sight. All she can hope for is that she might be of some use to her future husband. Thus, she begins her new life in her new home. She gets up early to make breakfast the next morning. However, her plan to be useful backfires as Kyoka refuses to take a bite, accusing her of trying to poison him. However, at work he can't get over the incident and his mind continues to circle back to the morning's events. When he returns home to a deeply apologetic Miyo, he decides to give things another go. What's more, he also apologizes to her for his earlier treatment and asks to eat her food for breakfast the next day. When he does eat her food, he compliments it, which causes Miyo to tear up because she can't even remember the last time she had ever been complimented. This, together with her far too subservient demeanor, her malnourished state, and her threadbare kimono, is puzzling to Kyoka, and he decides to investigate her past. But what will he do when he finds out about Miyo's life in the Saimori household? And if he learns that she is not gifted, will Miyo's greatest fear come true, and will she find herself dismissed? So, you thought this was just an ordinary Cinderella story, right? Well, now that we learn more about this world and how those who have the spirit sight are valued for their gifts, the story only gets more and more interesting. Episode 2 continues to treat us with a beautifully rendered story, with the production delivering nothing but loveliness, just as it did on the first episode. Additionally, we finally get our opening and ending songs, which I'll talk about later. But first, let's talk about that first encounter. Like I said, Kyoka made a terrible impression, at least on all of us viewers who know just how much the suffering Miyo has endured until now and who only want the best for her. However, as the episode progresses, we learn that this cold attitude came from him being tired of women who are only after him for his money and status. Okay, my dude, you want somebody to love you for who you are, or at least somebody who is authentic. But it's kind of difficult to get past your thorny exterior and into your inner squish. I get it though. Also, the light novel says that the veritable parade of women that came to him was made up of proud, unpleasant sorts. I'm guessing he got a bunch of kayas stumping around his house. You know, the sort who would do nothing but complain about everything, or in the worst case scenario, would be cruel or unkind to Yurie behind his back, while pretending to be nice when he was around. So when he warned Miyo that he would kick her out at any moment, and she bowed obediently, he was quite honestly startled, not having expected that. There's also the thing about him having trust issues. It might not seem like it, given that he lives so modestly, but he is the head of a very prominent and noble family, and is no stranger to attempts on his life. While he does admit that he never seriously thought that Miyo would poison him, he was being surly about eating someone else's cooking. I just put it down to him being a grumpy McGrumpy-Pants early in the morning. As to Miyo, sure, she could easily have just done as he said and taken a bite of the meal to demonstrate that it wasn't poisoned. But keep in mind that until now, Miyo has been so used to eating last and getting just leftovers or whatever scraps she could get from the kitchen that she could not bring herself to do something as disrespectful as eating so much as a single mouthful before the master of the house ate. Luckily, they have another go the next day. During this episode, we see flashbacks of what Miyo's childhood was like, and it really wasn't pretty. The light novels go into a bit more detail, especially about the scene where she's locked in the storage house all night long, you guys, resulting in terrible trauma for our poor Miyo. I don't think I could hate the stepmother more than I did after reading the light novel, but man, oh man, the stepmother here in the anime is really testing me. F you, lady, and you too for abandoning your child, and you as well. You know what? All of this family sucks. I hope the house that was burning at the prologue is theirs, and that they are burning with it too. Anyway, in another dream sequence, we see an anime original scene that shows how the ceremony to determine whether a child has a spirit sight takes place. It was a creepy scene, and I'm actually kind of glad that our girl doesn't get to see these grotesqueries, especially if they are so dangerous that there is a unit within the army dedicated to fighting these terrible monsters. Though I am not at all opposed to seeing more of these impressive displays in future episodes. Finally, let's talk about the openings and the endings. The opening was Anata no Soba ni, or On Your Side by Riria, in sharp contrast to the desaturated colors using Miyo's dark times in her family home. The opening is vibrant and stunning. I love how it has scenes that superimpose both Miyo's past and present and gives glimpses of her future life. And you guys, please don't laugh at me, but the opening actually made me cry. Not only was it a treat for the eyes, but seeing Miyo slowly blossom under the care and love of those around her was so touching. The ending song was Vita Philosophica, or Philosophical Life, by Ito Kashitaro, who, by the way, is the same guy who did the lovely ending for Bibliophile Princess. This ending had a far more stylized look than the opening, but it was still very pretty, showing glimpses of the passing seasons and ending with our happy couple enjoying life together. Oh, and I can't wait for the sweetness. Overall, I'm happy to see that Kiyoka is not a bad man after all. I just hope that he continues to give Miyo a chance, even when he learns about her past and about the fact that she doesn't have the spirit sight and is ungifted. However, the bigger question here is, will Miyo give herself a chance at happiness? Or will she, like many who have suffered abuse for years, think that she is unworthy of love and hold back from embracing true happiness? I sure as heck hope that she gives herself a chance. That's all for now. As always, thank you for watching, and I'm super interested to know what you thought of this episode, so let me know in the comments. If you like this video, please be sure to subscribe for more My Happy Marriage content. See you on the next episode. Until then, bye bye.